All right, so what's up with y'all, man? It's your boy Rick Rogers, the Hitmaker, and I am back with the 4th episode of A Piece of God podcast. Make some noise for me, because usually when I start something, I stop it after like 1 or 2 episodes. It's kind of hard to keep things going, but being that I'm reading my Bible like every day and trying to learn every day and trying to get better every day is giving me more life and more things to talk about. And so today I want to talk about the fear of God for many reasons. And I think, one of my gifts from God is to be able to explain things in a way that people can understand, or maybe just the people who can understand my language, because there's other people who on the internet talking about God and they got their own following and stuff. So I'm just trying to use my voice and the way I talk and the way I look and the way I sound and the way I edit and the way I do things, the way I'm throwing myself in the world to be of some form of help for the world. So shout out to you for watching me. It is not a mistake that you're watching the video. There's millions and millions and millions of other things on the internet that you could be watching right now, but you're watching this one, so maybe it's important for your life. So so let's talk about the fear of God. A lot of people, and when I say people, I'm including myself in how I used to think. I never want y'all to get up here and think that I'm trying to judge, because I was once in the seat where you are right now, where you just don't know, you just don't understand, and the way it's been put to you is, it makes you not want to. Like, I ran for a long time. Like, I promise I did. I'm not just some pat preacher's kid who grew up in church all his life and all of this and all of that. Like, nah, I ran away. I cursed Jesus. I did everything. I talked people out of believing in God. Like, it's crazy, but God's timing is God's timing, and right now I understand the importance of preaching the gospel and trying to introduce people to Jesus Christ. And one of the main things about that name in particular is people like to think that, people are using the Christianity God or the God in Christianity as a way to hinder you, as a way to instill fear in you, to hold you back and all this other stuff. But I think when you say it like that, you give the word fear such a negative connotation that it's not even funny. And the average person, especially when it's like trying to find spirituality and all that, if you tell me they're doing that to hinder me, then I'm not gonna want to do it. And in a sense, you're using fear in the wrong way, because I believe fear is a good thing and fear can be a bad thing if it's being manipulated by the wrong entity, which is ironic. That's literally what the whole God and the devil thing is. It's like God made everything good, but anything good you can take and use it for bad. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people blame God, this and that, and why this and why that. It's like, God made everything good. We came along and messed everything up. All right, so let's talk about fear. And God gave me a really good point, but I'm going to try to hold it to the end, and I'm going to try to remember to say it. But it was a really, really, really great point. So like I said, let's talk about fear. One of the things that I don't like about this conversation, when people try to say people use God to put fear in you so you don't do this, because what it makes me want to ask you is, why do you fear man more than you fear God? Let me sip my drink. I'm hiding it, but it's a monster. I know a lot of people be saying the symbol and all that. I'm not drinking it for none of that. It ain't even healthy for me, honestly, but this is one of the things that I'm addicted to. But yeah, that's a Monster energy drink, man. So like I said, the fear of God. Why is it that you fear man more than you fear God? And what do I mean by that? Because fear, the Bible itself is like a set of rules. You know what I mean? It's somewhat a set of rules. It is a set of rules. There is some rules in there, and then there's some life lessons that you can learn, and wisdom and guidance and stuff like that. But let's talk about the rules. A lot of people don't like the rules of Christianity, and I'm not going to go through all of them. Because if you know, and if not, another video I'll go through them and break them down. But there's definitely rules to Christianity. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they tend to act like they don't like rules. But my thing is, why do you follow the rules of man more than you follow the rules of God when you couldn't have one? without the other. All right, so what do I mean by that? When you're driving your car in traffic, you have rules. When you go to McDonald's, you have rules. When you go to the movies, you got rules. When you go to the roller coaster or the water park, you got rules. When you go to anywhere, there's rules. And you follow them willingly because you fear the consequences. Now, of course, the consequences for going into a McDonald's and acting all out of character and standing on top of the trash can won't be as worse as the consequences of drunk driving and getting into a crash, of course. But at the end of the day, there's consequences that you don't want to suffer. So to try to use the fact or some form of suffer from God as a way to say he's instilling fear in you makes you a hypocrite, because you follow rules all day long. You even follow the rules that God set in place already. There's rules set in place that help you live and breathe every single day. And you follow them. Your life depends on you following them rules. So that's one way that you can look at this situation. You know what I'm saying? And then, another way I like to try to break it down is let's just think about a relationship between a mother and the child, a baby, a 3-year-old baby. And I always use this, but it just goes over people's head. But okay, so I think of my relationship with God is like the ultimate parent. He's the parent. All right. So in a parenting situation where everyone uses the hot stove analogy as a way to explain things, so I'm gonna use it again. As a parent for my child, I'm going to set rules in place out of fear of them hurting themselves. For me, because I don't want to experience it. And for two, I definitely don't want them to experience it. So what do you tell them? Baby, this is hot. Don't touch that. That's hot. It's going to burn. And what you say? You say it's going to burn, baby. That's exactly what you say to your child. So that is all God is trying to say to us with everything that he's saying. Even with all the catastrophes and stuff that happened in the First Testament and all of that, what no one realizes is that none of it would happen if everyone was to follow God's order and do exactly what God would want us to do. Now, I know that's a very hard task. That's very hard. So I'm not saying it like it's in a nutshell, we just follow God. No, it's not that simple. But that's the beginning of understanding what it is that you should be doing and how you should be acting to people in the world. Like, that's literally the beginning. And that's why I say the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. All right. So another thing I would like to say, because what I learned is, being that I love Jesus so much, and I know my goal as a Christian or my job as a Christian is to share the gospel, because people really need to hear it. For one, from my belief, it's really like a life or death issue. You know what I'm saying? And for two, it's to benefit you in your everyday life. You know what I'm saying? And I say life or death because at the end of the day, we all agree that we got souls. We all agree that we have a spirit. We all agree to this, whether we believe in the same God or not. That is a common thing that a lot of people do agree. Not everybody, but majority of people do believe we have souls and spirits and all of that. And this life in this body right here will go when it's time for it to go. But the fact that I'm in this body, but I have like a spirit that senses things outside of me, that lets me know the type of realm or what it is that we living in. It's way much further than I can fathom. You know what I'm saying? And so I do worry where my soul is going to go in the end. You know what I'm saying? If my body is just a test vehicle for my soul or for my spirit, am I going to crash and burn the whole time I'm up here? Am I going to drink and drive? Drive on the wrong side of the road while I'm here? Because the end of that would be death. So it's like, while I'm here, I'm going to drive careful and try to reach the destination, which seems to be heaven or hell. And there's a whole nother way to look at it, but I won't get into all of that. All right, so let's go back to the word fear. So what usually happens with me is I end up getting into debates online. I'm really trying to stop doing that, because I really don't want to do it, but I feel like it's healthy conversation sometimes, because people learn new things and people can gather new information. And so sometimes I think it's necessary, even though it's something I don't really want to do. But okay, so the whole fear of God thing came about. And this chick was up there saying, she basically said what I'm saying, like, religion this, religion that, they trying to use God to put fear in you, you know what I'm saying? So one of my questions is, and then what? Because I feel like as a Christian, when you debunk something or when you go against something, you have an immediate direction for a person to go. Like a lot of people that's opposed to Christianity, they just oppose Christianity. They just be against it. It's like your only mission is to be against Christianity. It's not to try to push the people in in a way that's going to better their life. You know what I'm saying? It's like the chick was like, so cause I was like, so then what? You know, she said what she said. And I'm like, so then what? She was like, you get to be free. You get to live how you want. You get to do what you want and all of that. And I'm just like, my thing is free to do what? Like, what are you free to do? Anything you want? Because I think when everyone's free to do anything they want, that's what gives us the chaos. You know what I'm saying? Which is the free will is really that will to do whatever we want. And clearly people not doing the will of God, which means they're doing their own will, which is kind of bringing like a lot of chaos to the world. So I think, and one of my analogies for this, when I was really thinking about it, if you think about an airplane, like a pilot, all right, let's say the pilot is free to fly all he want. He can fly pretty much wherever he want, but there's some places that have boundaries, like he can't go into space with it. There's a limit to what he should do. And I don't think the limit is to say, yo, you don't get to explore this. You don't get to do that. You can't do this. I don't want you doing this. It's not to do that. It's so the man won't kill himself. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm sure there's like military areas that planes can't fly through. Because I know there's areas that drones can't fly through. Why is that? It's not like, yo, I don't want you to be able to not experience your drone and I want to hold you down from playing with your drone. It's like, nah, we don't want your drone to crash into a plane. You know what I'm saying? Or interfere with whatever. So you can't look at you can't try to use fear in the way that you're using fear to try to make your point when it comes to God. On top of that, you're a hypocrite anyway. No one indirect, but in the literal sense of the term, like in what it means, like you're a hypocrite because you want to be free, but you follow rules every day. And there's rules to the universe and all these other things that you have to follow without choice. You know what I'm saying? Because if the trees woke up today and said, yo, we not following God's will and pushing out air today, we all gonna die. So my thing is, play your part. Like, it's okay to humble yourself to God. Why is it got to be looked at as fear to humble yourself to God? You know what I'm saying? And this brings me back to the conversation of people who consider themselves gods. Like, if that what you have to call yourself for your ego, that's fine with me. But understand that you alone can't do what God does or did and will continue to do. So just understand the separation. Like, there's really separation, because I think, and I say this with the utmost respect, because I think it's okay to think high of yourself. That's fine, because I don't think God wants you to think low of yourself. But you have to have a sense of humility. Like, God is God. God created the human species, so you're a human. You're made in the image of God, yeah, but you're not God. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to consider yourself a God, which we believe that God is love, God is forgiveness, God is grace, God is merciful. If you're going to consider yourself a God, I think you should be out here preaching peace and love and unity every single day. If you're in love, like, no disrespect to nobody, but that was one of the things that worked, that was one of the things that I had to check myself about, because I thought I was a god one time, just because like I was listening to, YouTube videos and all that, and I didn't know what to believe in. So I was just like, yeah, man, I'm a god. I'm a god, you heard? Like, and I understand, but at the same time, it's not wise to be like so arrogant and so cocky. It's like, especially with the black people that could call themselves gods, and then you call white people the devil. It's like, yo, you have like a fake sense of peace in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that conversation was finna get way, way, way deeper, and I'm not finna go into all that right now. But yeah, so we talking about the fear of God right now, man, and I just don't want you, whoever you are viewing this video, I don't want you to look at fearing God as a bad thing. You have to understand, God set rules in place because he loved you. You know what I'm saying? And then the ultimate thing is, like, when you really read the Bible, and because I'm assuming that most of us have had a hard life. I'm assuming that most of us have been depressed and on the edge of wanting to commit suicide. There's some people who literally haven't, I guess, or don't know what it's like, or don't know how to express that's what they feeling. But for the most part, we all have had it like really, 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 really hard. You know what I'm saying? And when you begin to read the Bible, you start to understand what role you play in the way you feel about everyday life. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the transformation begins. That's where it began for me. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if I had to have my own version of God, I would definitely want a God that would give me all the free space I need to do what it is I want to do, as well as have boundaries that let me know, like, yo, don't go right there, because your experience on here is not going to be good, or your life going to end right here if you go that way. Like, I think that's way more love than what you can already ask for. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't have guidance, and some people don't have direction. You know what I'm saying? And I think, imagine you having a house and you have knives laying around, and whatever the case may be, it's like, yeah, your daughter free, but you not really setting no boundaries for her not to harm herself or take herself out of this world. So of course, God is going to set boundaries. And when it comes to fear, I think you should be scared of being depressed. I think you should be scared of having domestic violence issues with your wife. I think you should be scared of growing up and not taking care of your kids the proper way. I think you should be scared of losing good friends because you're so stubborn and you don't want to admit you're wrong and all these other things. I think you should be scared of cheating on your husband and all of these other things. So there's nothing wrong with you fearing that. Those are the things you should be scared of. But when everybody wants to be free, that literally means I'm free to do what I want. Who can check me? Oh, I'm so this. Oh, I get the bag. Like, all of that. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but you still a trash person. So stop using the fear of God to boost your own pride and all of that. Like, stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? We're not using that excuse no more, that God and Christianity was put forth to bound people, because it's really here to set you free. You know what I'm saying? But you listening to the enemy, because the enemy don't want you to be free. The enemy want you to destroy your house. The enemy want you to waste your money or all of your time on money and forget about the family. The enemy wants you to do so many things that's going to make your life so trash, and you listen to any and everybody else. You listen to everybody that God created. So you listen to all these people that the universe speaks to you, and you listen to the ancestors. And I'm not knocking none of it, but my thing is you listen to it, you entertain it, like you become a part of it. Just give it some thought. That's all I'm asking, is just give it some thought. Think about what it is that I'm saying, and really, 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 truly give the word fear a chance to mean good to you, and then think about all of the things that went wrong in your life, and that is what you should have feared. Like the moment you wanted to end your life, that's a moment that you should fear. You know what I'm saying? So fear of the Lord is a beginning of wisdom. That's not a bad thing. It is smart to be wise. It is because it's all about helping and benefiting your life, trying to keep your life in order, trying to keep the relationships in your life intact, trying to be a light in the darkness. There's so much more to the Bible than what people like blatantly just put out and blatantly say. And I'm trying to use my voice and my platform to bring more of that to the light, man. I think it's really important. And I know anyone watching this video, you must want to know more, you know what I'm saying? Or you wouldn't have clicked it. So just take it from me and the Bible. Read the Bible. Don't just take everything from me. But from my perspective, though, fear is not a bad thing. Fear is a great thing, actually. Fear keeps me out of trouble a lot, actually. You know what I'm saying? But like I realize I fear man more than I fear God, and that's just backwards. So now I'm trying to learn what it is that I need to be fearing. What is it that God wanted me to fear? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's a bad question to ask yourself, considering the depression and the bad relationships over and over and over, and the terrible relationship between parents, fathers not being in the picture, jail, murder, gangster music, all of this negative stuff that we don't fear. Y'all don't fear none of that. Y'all don't fear the kids up and down the block, shooting the block up. Y'all don't fear none of that. Y'all don't have a problem with it either. But y'all have a problem with God when God don't want none of that. So it's your boy Rick Ross, the Hitmaker, man. Hopefully I was able to reach somebody. Like I stated in every video, me getting on camera and talking is me trying to step out of my shell, because I have been afraid to just voice my opinion. I've been afraid to show my face, all type of things. And this is me breaking it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to find myself, and I really appreciate anybody who's watching it, you know what I'm saying? And I hope you learn something from it, man. And if I can encourage you to do anything, man, if you got a voice, use your voice, but be mindful of what you're using your voice for. Because I understand God gave me this world to exist in it. So you think I'm not going to get my microphone and exist in this world? You think I'm not going to try to put my genius ideas out here in this world and possibly be a change of something that happened, or something that matters 200-300 years from now, like the stuff people did before me? I'm definitely going to get out here and put myself into the world. And if I can give you one more advice, it don't matter how many people watch your video, because somebody's watching your video. And that's all that matters, is you make that content, you get online, you say what's on your mind, you do what it is that you want to do, but try to push positivity if you can. Do something positive. Please don't get out here and start encouraging more murders, and start encouraging girls to be strippers, and start encouraging young girls to be twerk kings and twerk queens and all of this. Please don't start doing that. We need to start pushing positivity in the world, man. So it's your boy Rick Rogers, the Hitmaker, man. It's the Peace of God podcast number 4. We on number 4. Let's go.